Here we are with the LG OLED C4. This is their brand new Evo model for 2024. Now, some of the things we are going to be looking at is the brand new processor, their brightness booster. I want to look into and investigate what that 30% is over. If it is over the B4, I will appropriately clown them for that because they did that on the G4 where it was like 150% brighter, but that was brighter than the entry level model. So I hope they don't do that with this one, but maybe they did. We'll check out WebOS. We'll check out again more of their AI stuff because that's what they're leaning into heavily this year. And again, all of their other features. So that's what we're going to be checking out. For anybody wondering what variation of this product that this is the 55-inch model. So that is what we're going to be reviewing. If there are variations, I can't speak to those. I am only reviewing the 55-inch version. And with that, let's get this thing unboxed and ready to go.
So as I'm getting this positioned for, again, everything to do with the whole unboxing process and setting it up and everything, it's incredibly light. And the one thing that's like striking me is how easy I'm able to throw it around and whatnot. But also another thing that I think is really weird is like it feels smaller than the size indicates. So this is a 55-inch, but it really does feel like I'm just moving around a 40-inch TV. Like it doesn't feel as big, if that makes sense. I almost want to whip out my tape measure just to see if I'm bugging, but yeah, I don't actually feel like it's the full 55-inch. Could be because the bezels are so thin, but it is what it is. Now, in typical fashion, you do have LG signature logo here. I'll go ahead and zoom in so you can see that. They have their logo on the back. It's got that gloss kind of plastic to it, so I guess that's all right. They've got, again, a built-in power cable. It's not detachable, so if you have pets or, you know, an accident with one of your kids, you're kind of up you-know-what's creek without a paddle because they didn't think to add a detachable power cable, which is not ideal. I think in this day and age, that is a very basic feature that you should have, especially on an OLED and especially considering the price point that you're paying because you have a lot cheaper TVs on the market offering that. I think, again, that's just one of the many gripes that I usually have year after year with this. And again, they're freaking zip ties also kind of annoying to undo. You have to sit there fiddling with it for a little bit because it's very awkward. So I'll be sitting here for a minute fiddling with it and then we'll move on with the rest of the unboxing. Got it as it is. But yeah, that's an annoying process right there. And there's literally another one right there. So yeah. Okay, now once you're done fiddling with that, then you just take the plastic off, which is great. Yeah, okay, wonderful. Add it to the landfill of plastic. The one thing that really bugs me though, I don't know if you can see around the borders, this ashy like finish, it's not something on the TV. It's just ashy like that. I don't know what the hell. I mean, you can clearly see the smooth black plastic and the ashy looking plastic. I could not tell you what in the actual hell happened there, but that's what it looks like in real life. As I look at it with my eyes and I look on the phone here, I'm like, what actually happened? I don't know. So just one of those weird things. If you do see this ashiness around your TV around the back, you're not crazy. It is actually there. So like I'm totally expecting the stand assembly to be the easier part of this because hopefully it is. Now this is the same stand as you can clearly see here that will be included on the 48, 55, and 65-inch variation. So regardless of what size between those three you get, this is the stand that you get. And it's the same stand that they've had now for like the last 3 years. I don't know what's with companies with a if it ain't broke, don't fix it mindset, because every year it's supposed to be new and different, but it really does seem like they're just about appeasing shareholders and not really caring about their consumer base. You do have the LG logo on here, although it is very hard to see and very faint. Almost thought it wasn't there. It is there right over here. So that is there. I miss the days when it was engraved and nicer, but we aren't back in those days, so this is what it will be. Plastic is very minimal this year. I mean, there's virtually none really to speak of. It's all just kind of like this styrofoam. So I think that's really good. They're kind of more environmentally friendly than Sony with their Road to Zero nonsense. And I mentioned Sony because they're, again, one of the direct competitors, not as a natural dig against them. They're also better than Samsung in the terms of being, again, more conscious of how much plastic they're using. So, again, for those environmentally friendly folks out there, you'll appreciate that. Now, in here, we have a couple of, I would imagine these are IR blasters. I literally never use these any review process. We have the remote quick start guide, which I literally never use because I was born in the 90s and I know how technology works and I don't need someone to tell me how a remote works. So that's kind of pointless for me personally. Not a dig on anybody else. Everybody has different experience levels with technology. I respect it. But for me, it's kind of useless, so I just toss it to the side because I imagine, like most people watching this video, you're savvy enough to get on YouTube. You're probably savvy enough to know how to put batteries in a remote and hit on. So I feel like they should have put more energy into very clear instructions on how to put together their stand for people who might not have had a TV in recent years and know how to do that. But that's what that is. And the remote, by the way, is unchanged. It is literally every year unchanged. It's like, oh, wow, I got a brand new LG TV. Yeah, you did. Why is the remote the same as it was all those years ago? It's because they don't care. No matter how many reviewers say, hey, the Magic remote is kind of outdated, we could use a upgrade, it never happens. And it's just like, okay, why do we even say anything to you then? But that's just the way I look at it, because I speak very honestly about these things and say what other reviewers won't. While they're sitting there sucking off LG and every other company, I tell you, I would like for A, my batteries not to go all over the place, and B, for the freaking, remote to get an upgrade. Again, this is wire management stuff. I don't use this. I literally never have and probably never will. If you do, that's great, wonderful. They have some wire management stuff in there. They have your screws, which you are going to need. And you have a total of 2 bags that contain multiple sets of screws. And I imagine this is for the stand too. They're both for the stand. So again, one's for the back of the TV and maybe one's for the stand themselves. But we'll put it all together and it'll be what it is. Now, if I remember this correctly, this is a lot like it was on the C2 and the C3. And so, yeah, here we are with the C4 and it's the same shit. So basically, if I remember correctly, this has 3 little grooves, which is why you have 3 little cutouts and 3 little screw holes. And all you're going to do is take this and line it up like so, find those grooves and push it down into there. And like you're 90% of the way done. Now, I forget how you do it, but I think you either come around the back here, because it goes through the bottom, I think. And then you like screw it in some sort of way. I want to say you go through the bottom and then you put 2 screw holes here and here, if I remember correctly. Let's look at the bottom. Yeah, you do that because I remember, because it's the same damn stand. So yeah, and you just drop 2 little screws in there and that'll help keep this stable so it doesn't come apart. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention was that you're going to need these 2 screw bags to do the stand. Obviously, this clear bag, this is for the back of the TV. So think of it that way. Back of the TV for the stand. Now the stand, again, very simple. Now, as you see, I put that thing down in here, but if you notice, it'll just come out. That's because you literally have to like push it together like really hard until it just goes down in there nice and deep. And you'll feel it like completely connect. And then again, you're holding it up and you can shake it around because that pretty much is it. Now, if you're lazy, I mean, hypothetically speaking, I suppose you could just put the TV on wrong and append it to the back of your TV now. But we're not lazy and we're going to do the extra step. So it goes upside down, right? And again, those 2 little screw holes that I told you about, that's where we're going to get the clear bag. Again, it's just like one extra step, really. It's not even that big of a deal. Of course, these bags are incredibly irritating to open without scissors because they make them all weird. So you got to open it like it's a potato bag or some shit. Okay, and we're just going to get 2 of these little threaded screws that are all robust looking, right? They look like something that was drilling the drywall or something without the tip on it. That's how you know you have the right screw. And then we just thread them, but I'm going to put this over here so it's not in the way for now. And then you just slowly screw everything in. The process won't take incredible amounts of effort and it won't take too long. But again, just showing you in real time what this process is like, because like all things, it can be tedious and you should know in all the ways of which it would be tedious. Now, I have an electronic screwdriver that'll make this job easier. You can use it the manual way, but I'll probably be lazy and do it the electronic way. Cool. Yeah, just I don't feel like doing it the hard way. You can, or you can go to Walmart and get one of these things. They're like friggin' $10 or $11 or so after tax. Ain't that bad. And it saves you a lot of manual labor sitting there with this frickin' thing, twisting and twisting, because these little threaded screws on tough plastic like this can be a little bit annoying. And you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Now, for the remaining screws, which are literally just these 2 screws that are left, we're going to put them into this little hole here. Again, you have 2 of them right here. And I'm going to drop one here. And I'm going to drop one here. And then all we do, again, I'll zoom in so you can see a little bit better. Okay. All we do from there is literally just screw it in, right? So again, it's all about lining it up, you know. And that's it there. And then this one. And I'm not joking, like even on the little hand drill thing, it struggles a little bit. So you'd be sitting there a little minute trying to screw it in the old manual way. You don't have to do it that way. Can't stress that bit because that part is important. Okay, so basically all we do is, I like to rip this shit off, right? And then just append it to the back and then use your 4 screws into the 4 holes. It's really that simple, but I'll still show you how to do it because, you know, everybody deserves to see the process from start to finish. And this is a very organic, real world way of doing it versus, you know, just bullshitting you and saying, oh, it's so easy, and not showing you the actual process. Because I hate when I watch videos on YouTube, right? And someone tells me how easy some shit is and like it would work, like easy peasy 1, 2, 3. And then I try it and it's like, that was fucking hard. This is not, and I'll show you it's not. All right, so you have prong 1, prong 2, and then you can't really see it, but there's hole 1 and there's a hole 2. And all you're going to do is just sit this down, slide it up, and it goes into those holes, doesn't click or anything, right? And we locate our bag of screws, which I have here, okay? This bag of screws is easier to open. And much like before, we just drop them into all the 4 holes. I'll zoom out so you can see what I'm doing here. They just drop into all 4 holes. And we very tediously do this so you can see the unboxing and assembly process. Not hard at all. And we line it up again. Okay, that one's done. Next one. Okay, next. All right, next. Oh, that one kind of didn't want to cooperate. Hold on. I mean, it's in there. It's in there. I'm just being difficult at this point. I don't really have to. Again, because if you were to sit there with the manual one, again, it's done. And that's basically it. That's the entire process for the stand assembly. So now, all that really leaves is quite literally batteries in the remote, which we've already done. And then you just plug this bad boy in after putting it on your media console. I swear this is like everybody's favorite part of taking a TV apart and then doing the unboxing is this little plastic that we rip off and fucking just dramatically throw all over the place. So aesthetically, I think this is probably one of the better looking OLEDs you will probably buy on the market. I can't stress how much I love how lightweight this thing is because lifting it up and transporting it around, super easy. Way easier than probably any OLED TV this year. This one, so light, it's a dream to move around. So again, this is perfect for somebody who's always going between rooms. This would be a huge selling point for you that you don't have to do a whole lot. And I do like that the price point is reasonable at, what was it, like $13.99 right now on sale. So again, affordable pricing, very lightweight, super easy to put together as you just saw. So far, so good. Let's see what the picture looks like. Okay, so now we're going to turn the LG on for the first time. We're going to hit power on and see what it is we can or cannot see. So immediately you're greeted with WebOS. First thing I notice, same old WOLED colors. Very washed on WebOS. Black levels, of course, if you've never owned an OLED will be impressive. But if you've seen it, it's kind of like, okay, I've already seen this before, so like, show me something different. I would really like if I actually, the first time I've turned it on, saw like the full brightness and everything of what the LG could do and the brand new amazing colors that don't exist right now. That'd be great, but here we are in the unboxing process showing you what it is like. So hit the OK button.
We're gonna do English. Damn, why is it like at like 100 speed with the audio? Next. That's so weird how fast it goes now. That's a first. I've never seen it move that fast. So after you do all that, then you're gonna select your country. I'm in the United States. After you select your time zone and all that stuff, it's gonna ask you if you want to set up with your mobile device or if you want to set up with the television, basically. I'm going to use the television because I don't feel like doing it from my phone. Now, the first thing it's going to ask you is basically user environment analysis. It's just making sure HDMI is set up and all that stuff. Saying no paired devices, which I already know. I'm going to select none, and I'm going to go to the next. It wants a zip code. I'm just going to put one of my old ones. Next. I'm going to do stand mount, not wall mount. Right? Now, they show you how shitty everything looks, how dead and washed out the baby is, and the sound and all that. How boring it is without their new AI functions to really drive it home, and then when you turn it on, it's like, wow, the picture goes from crap to crap! it's pretty bad. But that's just what they always do every year. And then you can go to AI Sound Pro, which admittedly will be louder, but it sounds like a tin can, so I mean, to each their own. Now, always ready, you can select that on or off. I will just hit next and skip that for this. And now we're looking at the same thing we saw last year and the year before that when you're done. Much like Samsung and Sony, they don't change these types of things. I wish they would add at least a new graphic that would be like 5 seconds to at least trick me that I bought a new TV. But that didn't happen. Now again, if you're coming from something older and you didn't buy those last TVs, or you're not a reviewer like myself and you don't have experience with it, then this will be totally new to you, which fantastic. But from someone who has seen their products, this is more of the same in that regard. Now, in terms of looking at a demo, I will try to play some of the media that's on here internally and call it a day. So like basically immediately after putting the television online, which I skipped that step, I usually do, I was met with, hey, by the way, there's a software update. So we're going to do the software update, which is 1,766 megs. And then we'll come back, I guess, after that is installed, because I don't believe that there's going to be any real way to move forward in a meaningful way for this review without updating it, because I'm sure everyone will follow up. What firmware version were you on? And the past firmware that this TV is being upgraded from is 03.11.15. What we're going to, I have no idea. I'll figure it out after it's done. And then again, through the magic of editing, I'll let you know after I figure it out. All right, so now we're going to start the demo. I'm going to turn down the audio because I do not feel like getting hit with the copyright. And just looking at it, and I'm going to tell you at face value what I see. Now, again, all these store demos are designed to bring out the best out of the television, blah, blah, blah. And to which I'll say contrast is good. I see a lot of sharp detail, isolation around the subject to the background. Again, as far as color goes, it's WOLED. It's very blue. And I mean very, very, very blue. And this enhances all of the primary colors, red, green, and blue. And that's just something that every WOLED likes to do, and every company in general likes to do. Those little orbs in the water do look very nice, though, as a result. Very vibrant, and again, they know what to put on their television to really make it stand out. And this whole sequence here, especially the orange here, it is a beautiful shade of orange. So again, I feel like fire and everything on this TV is going to look amazing. Again, it's not going to be hard for a lot of people to be impressed with this TV. And again, given the price point, I think it's going to be really attractive again to a lot of people. Now, again, looking at more of the same though, I can't really sit here and tell you that looking at this demo, I'm seeing a world of difference between, let's say, the LG C3 and what I have right here. That's just me being honest. I probably would just get an LG C3 off of just this demo content. Now, that's not a full assessment, summary. It's just an initial impression. Like, I've seen this before. I think that's kind of the general feeling I get with most LG OLEDs and most TVs usually, but especially LG. It's like, I've seen it before. It's not that it's bad or anything. Like, so far the contrast is there, like for sure. The isolation, everything, it's what you would want. But now here's the kicker. I also don't notice a difference, like just if I'm not comparing side by side from what I saw on the G3 and this as well. The demo content is designed to bring out the best that it can do, and I'm not seeing any real reason to have upgraded to a G3 or a G4 even over this. This looks so similar to what I've seen out of every LG OLED I've ever reviewed that had this demo content on it. And I think that's something that you should know, because if you're forking out a lot of money, I mean, it would behoove you to know that, again, there's not really much of a difference. Now, I do know that the highlight in the sky was brighter on the G4, but that was really probably the only difference. From a color perspective and a processing perspective, as far as how sharp edge to edge the image can be, it just looked like literally like indistinguishable as far as the way that they processed it. And again, that's a testament to how good the processing, I guess, is on LG, I suppose. I don't know. I just think that, again, if you're spending more money with LG, you should get more of a benefit. Honestly, though, like me just being me, I probably straight up would have just gone with a C4 or, C3. I would not have paid the G4 prices. I probably would have gone with a G3 if I really wanted an LG that bad, but there is a lot of isolation and a very 3D look to this image, and that's something we will explore. I feel like it's actually got a little bit more in the way of 3D here in this example than I saw on the G4. Could be wrong, but that's something to investigate and to explore as well. And again, we'll just see what that looks like. But you're getting an idea of, again, just like a off the top of my head, first impressions type deal, what it really looks like kind of thing. And this is basically it. It's also important to note that at the time of giving this impression, I have not finished my firmware update. That's actually still going on in the background, which you might be able to see if I open up my settings. And we're in Dolby Vision Select mode, by the way. It's just the default demo content. And then if I go to software update, you can clearly see that we're only 65% of the way done. So we've got a ways to go. And that's probably maybe going to have an impact on the findings here. Or maybe it'll just be more of the same. Either way, I'm going to let you guys know once it finishes how it worked out in our favor or against, whatever the case may be. And then we're going to go through the usual stuff. We'll go through some measurements. We'll go through how it compares against its competitors, like the QD OLED counterparts, and a bunch of other things to show you what this is actually like. And yes, I will be comparing it to my LG C1 to see if, literally 4 models later, if we have a massive improvement for those who still have the C1. Because to me, that's still like one of the best LG OLEDs ever made. But if there has been a substantial change, that is something I will show you guys as well. But again, subscribe if you want to watch that kind of content. Again, comment. Let me know what you guys think. Comments help me form the next content pieces. So again, this is a very community-friendly type of environment. So if you want to be a part of it, hey, let me know what you guys are thinking down below. What do you think so far as well? Again, from everything you're seeing, I do see a little red tint that pops up when that LG logo popped on. That was a little weird. But again, if there's also things that as an owner you found or would like me to look into with this, sound off down below. Thanks as always for watching the #1 brand in honesty. And as far as the first impression, it's okay, but it's kind of more of the same. I mean, I'm not really blown away by any of this test example footage, but I don't really know that most people would be. But again, that's the initial impression. All right, guys. And my mouth always gets dry and I always have a cough every video. And for those who know, you know. All right. Thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty again. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.